Where the hell have you been, Loca?
It has been a long time, and I just wanted to give you guys an update. Merry meets my fellow bookish witches. Welcome to Witchy Reads, a place where we talk about books and other bookish things. Today, I am going to be giving you a bit of an update. I've been gone for a while. That was not my intention. Some things came up. Life started happening really fast. It got really chaotic. In a good way, there have been a lot of good things. I just wanted to take this moment, appear before you, not just give you a post, which I have done in the past when I've taken a hiatus, but usually if it's been like a week or two in between videos, and it's basically just been to let you know, hey, I'm working on videos and I just needed a little bit more time to get some stuff out to you. That is obviously not the case here because it has been, I want to say, about 2 months, maybe a little bit more since my last video. That wasn't intentional. I never planned on having the gap be so big from my last video till now. I'm going to go over everything and I'm going to let you know what's going on with the channel, with me, so that you are more aware. And I thought it would be fun to do this by going through a board game that I bought. It is book related. If you haven't been watching me, you probably don't know that board games, sorry if packaging is a little loud. Board games is another thing that I really enjoy. I backed this particular board game, I want to say it was like, maybe a year ago. A board game called A Place for All My Books. I was immediately drawn to it. I love board games that incorporate literature, books, wherever possible. So I thought it would be fun to kind of go through the pieces here because I have not opened it, even though I received my copy of this, I want to say a couple months ago. So probably when everything started getting crazy. So it all kind of fits. So I do have to open this. If you look the side and then if you look at the top, it looks like an actual book, which is very cool. Let me get this open real quick. And then we'll start talking. We'll have our little chat about everything. So there we go. I'm going to do my best to show this. I don't want pieces falling, obviously. So this is the cover with the name of it. So we're going to pull this off and already I'm excited. This looks gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Taking off that cover, we now have the reveal of what looks like. It makes it look like an actual book, which is very cool. Yeah, of course. Of course they would do it this way because it looks like a book. If you see, like, it's the side of a book and then you can flip it open and there's the rule book, and we're gonna go through all the pieces that are here for funsies. Oh, I like this little quote. It says, "A book is a gift you can open again and again." Isn't that the truth? So we're gonna put this over here so I can go through everything and just kind of show you as we go through everything before we start really into that. First off, thank you to everybody who have been so patient with me during this time. I deeply appreciate it. I was really nervous when the month passed and I hadn't done anything with my channel, but you all were still here. That made me feel so good. It also provided enough motivation for me to be like, I can come back and this will be okay. So thank you for that. You didn't really need to do anything. You were just here, and that's huge. So thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you also to those who did take the time to reach out to see what was going on, why I hadn't been posting. I appreciate you so much for caring, for reaching out, making sure things were okay, that I was okay. I love you for that. I responded to you, when I could, that things were fine and that, I was going to be doing this particular video, basically just going over everything. Thank you so much. It means a lot. As far as what happened, a couple months ago, I started a full-time job. This is the first full-time job I have had in a little over 2 years. And the reason for that was I was part of a layoff, a major layoff during like all the major layoffs that have been happening in the tech field. I was let go from my position because it was eliminated. 2 months ago, I was able to land a full-time job. It's not exactly a job that I would normally take, but I needed income. And as much as I love doing BookTube, I am not making money off of my channel. That was really never the point when I started my channel. It was kind of one of those things where if it happens, great. I would love to be able to do that. That is not feasible. It is not realistic in terms of what I was putting out. I appreciate the followers I have. And if down the line I am able to make some money doing this, great. So I had to get a full-time job. And it took a long time to get that because the job market, if anybody knows, if anybody who's currently looking for a job knows, it's awful right now. It's the worst I have ever seen. So the fact that I was able to get a job was kind of a miracle in and of itself. And I was very appreciative of receiving this job. So that's what I've been doing. In addition to working full-time, I am back in school for the semester full-time as well. That's 4 classes, 12 credits, full-time at a university. I'm doing online courses, but also working 40 hours a week. That basically was my life the last 2 months. So I had really no time to make videos. I still made time to read books, which I will go over what I've been reading because I think that'll be fun to, kind of just give you an update of where I'm at reading wise. But I just didn't have time to dedicate to making the videos. Now, I do have some notes for some videos that I do want to ultimately put out. I will be working on doing that as soon as possible, but I don't want to give a definite time frame right now just because everything is still a little up in the air and chaotic, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But first, let's see what this board game has to offer. So we have the rule book. It's very cute. I love the coffee mug and I love the cat. Perfect. Everything that a book lover could possibly want. Is this like the board? Or is this, I don't know. I don't remember. I remember looking at the Kickstarter and looking at all the different pieces. This looks like it could be a board. It also looks like it could be like a character board. While I love board games, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the most experienced in terms of everything. So let's see if there's more in here. Okay. Oh my God, this is probably going to be so noisy in the mic, and I apologize. I don't know if anyone else has ordered board games off of Kickstarter, but everything is usually beautifully packaged, so we're probably going to have to open things as I go through this. This I can already tell just based off of what I'm looking at. These are the character boards that would be in front of each person as you play. This would be probably the main board to follow along. Looking at this is similar to another game that I own. I'm blanking on the name. It's like a wine game, but the mechanics look the same, which is actually exciting. And it makes me want to play this even more because I love that game, even though I don't remember the name of it. Oh, okay. So then here's the other thing. When you order off Kickstarter, depending on what tier you back a project at, you would get special little treats. Of course, I always forget what treats I get when I order these until they come, and it's always month, a year later. I got some bookmarks, so let's check these out. Oh, and they're all different colors. They match the game boards. Very cute. So we went through a little bit of the game. I'm very excited to play this. Getting back to everything. Been working full time, been going to school full time. And then I want to say about a month and a half into working at my new job, I was contacted by a recruiter for a completely different job. This new job that I was reached out for is actually what I am going to school for. Suffice to say though, this is as close to a dream role as I have encountered in the 5 years since I've tried getting into the field that I've tried to get into, which is user experience design. So I was very excited to receive this connection, basically. Also very apprehensive. I have encountered my fair share of job scams. I was worried that it was too good to be true. I went into the process with a grain of salt. Every time I moved to the next stage, I was excited, but also my apprehension grew. And I very much realized this was imposter syndrome happening. I wanted to be careful because this isn't a situation where I have to look out just for me. I also have my son to think about and what our future together will look like based on my going to school, my finding a job. That was really important to me. Long story short of it, it turns out that it was not a scam. This is legitimate. And I made it to the final round of the interview and I got the job. I started this one job and now it's looking like I am going to get to actually be in a job that will propel my career forward in what I actually want to do. I am ecstatic. I am so excited that this got to be the situation that I am getting to have this happen to me. I'm not going to share too much personally, but I've always kind of felt a little unlucky as far as my career growth and what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This happening to me was huge and it was really emotional and I am so excited. Right now, I am kind of in a limbo because of my previous job once they found out that I was, giving my 2 weeks, they just decided to let me go. No hard feelings. It's just how the situation worked. It was just better for all parties if I left the week that I gave notice. I have 2 weeks now before the new role starts. So I'm going to use that time, hopefully, to put out at least one book review video that I've had in the pipeline for a while. No promises, no guarantees, but I want to absolutely try and get that out for you guys. I'm actually really proud of the notes that I took and the script that I kind of came about with, what I want to discuss as far as that book. I think it is going to be just a really good video to put out, and I want to be able to do that as soon as possible for you. In addition to that, I am also taking this time to catch up as much as I can on my schoolwork so that once I do start my full-time job, I don't fall behind in that. Another goal that I've set on myself was to hopefully graduate with honors when I get my bachelor's degree. So to do that, I need to keep a certain GPA. That is the other thing too. I'm going to do my best to have a video out. Please don't be mad if there is a slight delay. At the very least, I will use this time to update my notes and script a little bit, make sure it's clean how I want to present everything, film it, and edit it. That is the hope. And then if I'm not at least able to put it out in the 2 weeks that I'm off currently or in between the jobs, I will at least have a bulk of it done so that I can take what little time I have when I'm not working or doing school to finish up the edits and put it out for you. Let's see what else we have in this game. There are going to be some things that I probably won't open just because I don't want it falling all over the place, but we're going to see. Although these are kind of cute, I might want to open these. I don't want to open these until I am ready to put like bands on them and organize them and make sure that they're all together and don't get messy. Here are some of the cards, or one of the cards. It's in the saran wrap, so you probably can't really read what it says too well. And then this is the main card pack. Oh my gosh, I love the art. The artwork is just gorgeous. Penelope. Oh, this is a solo game card. So this is like solo game rules. You can play this game by yourself. And these little like pieces, it's like the good luck cat. That's cute. And then here's some meeples. So it comes with a bag, and that's to keep all the little pieces together. These are like the bigger meeples, and this actually has like the character faces on them. This is so cute. The artwork is great. They're actually like printed on at good quality. Looks like we have some tokens. You have your characters obviously, and then these are what you place on the communal board as you play the game, and it just represents your character as you play the game. The part you've all been waiting for. All the little books that go with the game pieces. That is all of the game. This is very cute. I'm excited to play. That is a place for all my books. Thanks for humoring me as I went through that. I will quickly wrap things up now. As I mentioned, I will hopefully be getting that one video out. As far as other videos and the channel goes, I am not quitting. I am not stopping making videos. I am just probably going to have to accept that the videos are going to be fewer and farther in between. I would love to be able to go back to a format where I was putting these out weekly. With my current schedule, that is not feasible, and I need to be more realistic as far as my time and my energy levels. Even just doing what I've been doing, I have been exhausted. It is very tiring to be working full-time, going to school full-time, and being a mom full-time. I apologize if you were looking forward to maybe me going back to my old schedule of weekly uploads. I just can't do that right now. In the future, I would love to be able to do that. Once I complete school, and if I'm only working full time, I should be able to do some semblance of that. If not a week, then probably a bi-weekly schedule. I can see that being more possible in the future. As much as I love this channel and as much as I love my community that I've built here, there are things that need to take priority to make sure that my life does not fall into a pit of despair. There is that. Like I said, the next video is going to be a book review. I have other video ideas. A lot of them have been book review ideas. We will see what I'm able to put out, what I can come up with. I'm not going to say, because again, I don't want to put things out into the universe that I'm not 100% committed to providing on this channel. Just know that I am working on videos. I am coming up with ideas. I am working on putting stuff together to put out on this channel. I am not stopping videos anytime soon. With that being said, Let's talk about some of the books I've been reading recently. There was one book I read for fun, and then a couple of books that I had to read for my book club because I am still part of my book club that I run with my friends. I decided to pick up Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a video on that book yet. I had a really good time reading that story, and what made me want to read that story was actually seeing the movie trailer for the adaptation that's coming out next year. It looked phenomenal. Ryan Gosling is in it. I think he is perfectly cast for the main character. If you have not seen the trailer, I recommend watching the trailer. If you have not read the book, I actually do recommend reading the book, even though I will say the writing is a little subpar to what I am used to. That doesn't mean it is atrocious or hard to read. It's just at a level that is not what I am accustomed to as far as an adult story, an adult novel. What I will say is Weir is clearly a science nerd, and he has decided to find his outlet through writing. I think that's brilliant because he's come up with this amazing story. It's also the same author who wrote The Martian, which I have not read. I did see the movie. I think the movie is fantastic. So if that is anything to go by, I am pretty certain that the adaptation for Project Hail Mary is going to be equally as fantastic. I cannot wait to see that in theaters. As far as other books that I read for fun, I did pick up Book and Dagger, which was kind of a continuation of my previous video. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend doing so. The history of why it's important to not defund libraries and what libraries have meant to the country as far as what we have utilized them for, particularly when it comes to wars. World War II was a big thing. If you have not read Book and Dagger, highly recommend. It is very interesting in terms of just what role books and librarians and professors played in World War II. Fascinating. I've noticed that like when I was reading for fun, it's been a lot of nonfiction, which is interesting. So I read Book and Dagger, and then after that, I read Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. I had never read John Green prior to this. It was an interesting first John Green read, I will say that. Amazing. So much good information just in terms of how we have treated tuberculosis, everything it has touched, how it explains class, race, disease, germ theory, everything. It is so good. And it is a very quick read. If you get the audiobook, like you could probably finish it in a day. I think I finished it in a day and it was fantastic. Highly recommend. The books that I read for book club were The Companion by E. Ottoman. This was kind of more of a short story. It is a very trans inclusive story. The characters are all trans. I believe the author is trans as well. It was a very interesting story. I will say it is spicy. So if that is something you're not interested in terms of triggers or what have you, just be aware it is a spicy book. That kind of made it fun. The other book club book that I read recently was Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. I think I'm going to be making a video about that one. It is definitely not what I anticipated. Not that I didn't enjoy it, just it definitely gave me a reading experience that when I went into it was not what I had anticipated when I picked up that book. And that book had been on my TBR since Halloween of last year. To finally pick that up and read it and finish it was interesting. And just so we're clear, because it was on my TBR since last year, it was my pick for my book club. I read Predictably Irrational, which again is like a nonfiction. And this book is specifically dealing around statistics. This was for one of my classes, an extra credit that I was able to do for my human research statistics class. This class, their extra credit is basically reading books. So I'm set for that class. I decided to read that for extra credit. I actually did a quick video on that I used for my assignment for my extra credit and turned that in. I don't think I'm going to be posting that here. It was a very rough, raw cut of a quick book review. I am reading another book for that class called Invisible Women: Data Biases in a World Designed for Men. That is a book that I am currently reading for also my statistics class. That one is fascinating in a way that has me burning with rage because of the information that I am learning just about the invisible statistics surrounding women in the workforce, the invisible labor of women. It is a fascinating read, and just in terms of the facts that you receive, the overwhelming numbers that are there. The information is there. The statistics are there to prove that women are basically being ignored, not just in the workforce, but in a lot of different areas of life. It is rage inducing that so many people are just flat out ignoring those numbers. How you can sit there and just ignore 50% of the population when there is this data to prove what is going on. It pisses me off, but I am enjoying that book just because of what it is teaching me. So I appreciate that. The other book that I am currently reading that is completely different from that book is You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White. This is more for a fun read for me. I've been wanting to read this. I know other people have read this book and have been very left with an uneasy feeling about it. I remember when I first came across it, and it very much gave me the ick factor just in reading the description, and I was on board. I want to read this book, and I am in the process of reading it as well. But that one is more of a fun when I have time, when I have the free time to pick up a book and read. I've actually kind of paused reading that one a little bit just because things have been, again, a little chaotic. That is what I am currently reading. In terms of being able to hit my reading goal this year, I do not think that that is going to be feasible. I have just recently hit the halfway point of what I wanted to read for the year, which, if you recall, I had set a goal for myself for 50 books. I am at 25 books right now. And I do not think I'm going to be able to read 25 more books by the end of the year. I just don't think that that is realistic. I wish it were. I wish I was going to be able to read that many books, but I don't have the time, which is unfortunate. I do plan on reading the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I read the first book last year around this time, and I think I'm going to do the same. That's going to be another book that I pick up and read around this time of year. I feel like it's just winter, Thanksgiving, Christmassy, holiday time is when I like to read those books, which is really funny because I think the first book takes place in spring. Regardless, the vibes it gives me is this time of year, so I'll probably pick that up and read that. And then, of course, I will be making a video on that at some point in the future. That is where I'm at in terms of my life, in terms of the channel. I really hope that you guys stick around to see what videos I have planned, what videos I'm able to put out, and, just stick it out with me, please. I do have, plans for this channel to get more stuff out. It's just, it's going to take longer than initially planned. And I hope that that's okay. Again, I really appreciate those of you who have stuck it out, who are still here. The community that I've been able to build, even though it's small, I love it. I appreciate you. I think it's great. I mean, my community here is way more than what I anticipated when I started this channel. And that was 2 years ago. It's amazing. I love it. I love the people that are here. I love the people who watch my videos, who interact with my videos. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hold tight. I've got stuff planned. It will come out. Until our next chapter together, merry part and blessed be.